Well, this week we're bringing you G20 All Access. World leaders are getting ready to head to St. Petersburg, Russia for the G20 summit. It's the premier forum for economic discussions about financial problems that face the globe and matter to us here in the Twin Tiers. Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro is in Russia, where she tells us what our local members of Congress say they want done at this year's G20 summit.
We're here in St. Petersburg because this is the first time since the Great Recession that world leaders are dealing with an economy that's stable enough to allow them to engage in talks that might actually lead to reform. The G20 agenda is wide-ranging, but I talked to our local lawmakers about what they say will have the biggest impact on your life. This is a city known for its churches, palaces, monuments, and bridges. But right now, our lens is focused on the world's most powerful leaders, meeting here in St. Petersburg for the G20 summit. And they have their work cut out for them.
We deal with the world economy. And even though we may sometimes feel in Western New York that we're not impacted by the world economy, we are.
Here are the goals for this year's G20. Growth through quality jobs and investment, trust and transparency, and effective regulation. Congressman Tom Reed says the U.S. must participate in a real way, pushing hard on the issues that impact our workers and our economy.
We need to be competitive. That's why we need to enforce these trade rules vigorously. And forums like the G20 summit allow us to bring the issues to the table and tell these countries that when you engage in world trade, you need to follow the rules, and we're going to hold you accountable to them.
G20 nations make up 2/3 of the world's population and 80% of international global trade. But the group of leaders is thought to be small enough to still be an effective decision-making body.
They've got to be very direct in confronting their counterparts in these other countries where there's cheating, where there's manipulation, where there's an effort to undermine our workers.
Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey says we need to learn from our mistakes. He points to the steel, garment, and tool and die industries. Entire plants and generations of workers wiped out by unfair foreign competition.
We don't have, in my judgment, it's my opinion, don't have a real United States trade policy. And if you don't have a policy, we go into trade discussions or even into trade agreements at a disadvantage.
Our lawmakers tell me they think our strength as a nation lies in our workforce and ability to innovate. And they're hopeful with a better trade policy and aggressive enforcement of international regulations, our economy will change. And it all starts here in St. Petersburg. President Obama will be meeting with world leaders here despite tensions with Russia and amid an escalating situation in Syria. But the White House tells us the president will remain focused on the types of discussions that our local lawmakers say are imperative to keeping our economy on track. Reporting in St. Petersburg, Russia, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.